Shake, shake, no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, now win. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We are building today for the children to shake, shake, no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, now win. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors display. Ambazonia's bright future starts today. Shake, shake, over. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We'll shake off the fear and cast out the doubt. Our spirits will rise, there's no turning out. Freedom is our anthem, justice our creed. Shake, shake, no day, with love we will lead. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. shake no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. Shake, shake no day. The future is bright. Ambazonia will shine like a beacon of light. With every heartbeat, our message will be sent. Shake, shake no day until the very end. Your cruise boys sing. Under the moon, where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter.
Happy Country Sunday for all nationalists, for all patriots, for all our people there for Ground Zero. We salute all our picking them. We salute all our mommy them, our papa them, all big papa and big mommy them. Una good evening for all una. Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Happy Country Sunday. Every Monday is Resistance Day in Ambazonia. Mondays are Civil Disobedience Collective Resistance Day. All right. That's a lot going on in Cameroon that most people are not taking notes. Most people are not paying attention to what's happening in Cameroon. There is a runaway dictator in Cameroon. Mr. Biya is on the run. We'll fill you up with some of those details. But first, let's start. The colonial Prime Minister of Cameroon, Dion Gute, will be making a propaganda trip to Ambazonia. The colonial Prime Minister of Cameroon, Mr. Dion Gute, will be making a propaganda trip to Ambazonia. We'll be going to Ambazonia's capital in Biya for a propaganda tour. What we all need to understand and what we all need to know, the Ambazonian people, our collective resistance, our collective fight for freedom, for dignity, and for self-preservation, we have prevailed. Most of you don't just know it. We have prevailed. Most of you don't even know it because you're paying attention to distractions. You don't know that you've defeated Cameroon because you pay too much attention to distractions, which are deliberate distractions that are created by Cameroon to keep you in that state of mind, not knowing that you have defeated Cameroon. Before we go into all the details, I want to thank our forces across the 13 states for their tenacity, for their courage, for their bravery, for their nationalism, and for their dedication of service for our collective freedom. This is the first generation in the history of the Ambazonian people that have put up such a fierce resistance campaign against Cameroon occupation. We cannot quantify or have the appropriate linguistic expressions that can describe what you've been able to achieve. What you've done. How far you've elevated an obscure people to become an international pride. The courage of the Ambazonian people, the resilience of our people, the defiance of our people has gained us international admiration. The world hasn't seen this before. For how very peaceful, very loving people that have never known violence, that have never had anything to do with wars, to be able to rise up, to be able to confront the evil that has plagued our society by Mr. Biya. It is remarkable. Your resilience is remarkable, Ambazonia. Your tenacity is remarkable. Mr. Biya promised to crush the Ambazonian resistance in 2 days. Then he changed it to 2 weeks. They promised to crush Ambazonia in 2 days. Then they said it's 2 weeks. It's now 8 years. And the person who declared the war, who launched the genocide campaign on Ambazonia, is nowhere to be found. The Cameroon dictator is on the run. Why is he running away? Now it's Ngongo that's running the state. And they are using Dion Gute to do the job of a housemaid. Ngongo is basically running Cameroon. Dion Gute has become a houseboy, a servant. They call him a prime minister. They call him head of government. He's a housemaid. Dion Gute is a houseboy. He's the one washing dishes. He's the one sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, cleaning the toilet, cleaning the washrooms, cutting the grass. Dion Gute is a houseboy. That's not a prime minister. That's a houseboy. He has no voice. He has no say. He has no power. He has no influence. In official duties, it is Ngongo that is running the show. Diongute is simply a housemaid. He's a houseboy. His only relevance, he's only useful when it comes to doing propaganda in Ambazonia. That's the only usefulness Mr. Biya has for him. Other than that, he's the head of government for what? Of what? Head of government? You have Mr. Nyat. Yes, Nyat. Nyat. You have Mr. Marcel Nyat, who can walk, can talk. They just re-elected him to be the president of the Senate. Then you have the other one from far north, Kavaye. Can we have the video of Mr. Kavaye, please? Yes? Can we have the video of Mr. Kavaye? There's a video there in the studio archive of Kavaye, so that Ambazonia should understand what's going on in Cameroon. Please bring us a video of Mr. Kavaye. There was a video there in the archives of him trying to talk. Yeah, this one, please.
Évêque originaire de Mayo Oldemé avait dit Biya pour que quelqu'un vienne, je ne dis pas son nom, tous le connaissent, pour qu'il vienne remplacer Paul Biya.
Il ne jamais.
Il ne peut jamais.
Il n'a pas besoin d'un persécuté.
Depuis les musulmans, les catholiques, les adventistes, les protestants, personne n'a vu ce diable-là. Qui a vu le diable? Elle dit que Paul Biya parle, que le diable vienne le remplacer. Depuis quand on a vu le diable? Personne n'a vu le diable. Tous les catholiques, les protestants, les adventistes, nous, même les païens, ils n'ont jamais vu le diable. Il n'y a que ce prêtre-là, cet évêque-là, qui connaît où se trouve le diable. Si nous disons la vérité aux gens, que cet évêque-là vienne de faire nous montrer la maison du prêtre. Sinon, il est en train de mentir. Il y a des catholiques ici. Il y a des musulmans. Il y a des protestants.
Thank you very much. Jesus Christ. This is the ridiculousness of Cameroon. That's the person they just re-elected as the president, as the speaker of the parliament. He has taken over the colonial parliament captive. You only speak what they want you to say. When he says no, that's it. You can't speak. They don't examine the bills. Whatever is tabled, it's what is being prepared. They don't read through it. They can't make an adjustment. They don't debate things. When the budget comes in, they sign it. You don't have to read it. You don't have to question it. You don't have to know state expenditures. You don't have to know the condition of the state treasury. You can't question it. Those things are all classified. So you have Nyat, you have Kavaye. Nyat has taken over the Senate. Kavaye has taken over the colonial parliament. The colonial dictator on the run has taken over the presidency. Ngongo is running the show at the presidency. When it comes to official duties, he's everywhere. Diongute is simply a houseboy. Studio is frozen. All the streaming has been frozen.
Shake, shake, no day.
All right, we're back. So, Ngongo is running the show at the presidency. Kavaye has taken over the colonial parliament. Nyat has taken over the colonial senate. So they call Mr. Diongute head of government. Head of government of what? He has no say in what happens in Cameroon. He has no say. His only job is to wash dishes, clean the toilet, cut the grass. And secondly, they use him as a tool of propaganda in Ambazonia. So he's going to Biya to continue with the propaganda, to get all the colonial chiefs that are officials of the Ministry of a Public Administration. All colonial chiefs and fonts in Ambazonia are now directly integrated into the ministry, into the colonial Ministry of Public Administration under Atanganji. Every chief and every font is a member of the CPDM Central Committee. Fonangwafo has also been integrated into the special executive of the CPDM Central Committee with 3 other imams, one from the far north, with 2 other imams, and the other one from the north. They are now in charge to make sure that Biya receives 100% election victory even in his absence. Why am I bringing all of these things to you people? It's very important for us to understand how this state called Cameroon functions. In my previous message last week, we explained the structure of power and how power is structured within Cameroon. Mr. Biya does not do election campaigns. He doesn't go out there and campaign. He doesn't have any message. He doesn't. They use these structures of power they have put in place for 42 years to do the work, even in his absence. So personally, Biya is a runaway dictator. Okay? You all have seen what's happening in Yaoundé, what's happening in Douala, the violence in Douala by the group called Mikrop. It's a jihadist group. It's causing a lot of violence in Douala. They call them Mikrop. They use knives and machetes to cut off people's head like ISIS. You've all seen the epidemic, the garbage crisis, and the health hazard in Yaoundé. Where is Mr. Biya? Where is Diongute? Why is he only interested in going to Boya? They can solve simple, common, social, societal problems. They can't. He can't stand up and address the Cameroonese people and explain to them why they have such filthy streets and cities. But they want to run to Ambazonia to go do propaganda. when they can't build even drainage, even in their own capital. And you've seen the streets are flooded, homes are destroyed, businesses are destroyed every season, every raining season, year in, year out. But they want to rush to Ambazonia to go do propaganda. Where is Biya? Where is Paul Biya? He said, runaway dictator. Why is Biya running away? I'll tell you why. I know the answer. As I explained last week, the war in Ambazonia is a political strategy. After 42 years, almost 43 years now, after 43 years of failure as a dictator of Cameroon, as the president of Cameroon, after 43 years of failure, there is nothing the Cameroonese people can tell themselves, or Mr. Biya can tell the Cameroonese people about what he's been able to do for them. They can't. So they then manufacture the conflict, just like they use the Cameroon military intelligence to create a partnership with Boko Haram. They manufactured the crisis, the insecurity crisis in northern Cameroon using Boko Haram in order to beat the international system of the post-Mr. Bush era that was focused on counter-terrorism, to beat the international system to become a partner. So they manufacture this crisis as political tactics to get themselves integrated into the international community with the United States and the European Union, to see them as a partner in the fight against terrorism, in order to give Biya relevance and for him to gain some solidarity with the US and with Europe on a crisis, on a conflict they generated and manufactured for political relevance. In order for him to stay in power. So they used the little resources they could have used to build universities, build hospitals, improve social infrastructures, invest in research and development, invest in science and technology. The little resources they could have used to build and develop the economy, they diverted those resources to maintain power by building a military, by expanding and enlarging the military. They're using most of the state funds to buy expensive weapons for violence. So that's why they created the bee. They manufacture the conflict, they manufacture the crisis, created the bee to solidify power and institute state violence for anyone that dares to speak up, to frighten the people, to intimidate the people, to stay in power. The conflict Mr. Biya created in Ambazonia, it's for political reasons only. He wants to inform the people of Cameroon that he has a mission to accomplish. He has not been able to. Now they don't even have the resources. They have not deployed the resources they're supposed to use to fight Boko Haram, have all been diverted to Ambazonia. You all saw the videos that came out last week of 12 Cameroon soldiers that were killed by Boko Haram. The runaway dictator has not been able to speak. 12 of his own bees that protects him and that guarantees him power. 12 were killed. He has not even been able to make a public statement. A runaway dictator. The dictator is on the run. Running away from his obligations, running away from his own responsibilities. Can't even send a simple statement of sympathy and condolence to the families of soldiers he sent to the Grand North. A runaway dictator. Why is Dion Gute not going to Grand North to sympathize fighting Boko Haram? Why are they not making those trips to northern Cameroon? Why are they not making those trips to northern Cameroon? Why? Because it's politically inconsequential. We must understand the game. We must understand the psychology of the enemy to be effective in not only countering, to fight and to be able to defeat them. In that context, you must understand the psychology of the enemy and how to work. Have you seen Dion Gute going to the far north region or the north region or to Adamawa? Have you seen Mr. Dion Gute going to east? Have you seen him going to Betwa or to Ebolowa? It's a house boy. They only use him for the propaganda in Ambazonia. Let's have the video of, I think that's the second video. First of all, let's have the video of Mr. Biya and the cat. Video number 1, please. Mr. Biya and the cat. Yes. Even the cat doesn't want to see the face of the dictator. Even a cat doesn't want to see the face of the dictator. A cat. Can you imagine that? Even a pet doesn't want to see the face of the dictator. Oh, that's nothing. Let's watch the second video. Video number 2, please. That's so. One more time. That's happening right inside La Republique. That's inside Cameroon. The resistance against the runaway dictator is building up. The resistance against the runaway dictator is building up. They are using the conflict they created in Ambazonia for political motives. It's not to solve a problem, because they created a problem. They manufactured the conflict in Ambazonia just like they manufactured the insecurity crisis with Boko Haram. Boko Haram is a tool to gain international support, to keep Mr. Biya in power. As I've explained, the conflict in Ambazonia, it is after 43 years now, 43 years of failure. Then it was 35 years of failure when the conflict started. After 35 years of not being able to build even a company that can produce aspirin or Nivaquine for the people of Cameroon, they have to divert the attention of the Cameroonese people from holding Mr. Biya accountable. That's how they manufactured the conflict in Ambazonia, to divert public attention, to divert international attention and scrutiny of 3.5 decades of failure. So they manufacture the conflict to divert all attention to the conflict so that Mr. Biya will have a reason to be in power, and then divert state resources to expand the bees, to expand the powers of the bees, to expand the violence of the bees. They manufactured an enemy to fight for political motives, to expand the influence, the power, and the violence of the bee, so that violence becomes the new norm. The bees now have a mission. They have a purpose to mask the purpose of the bee. So they put in place these anti-terrorism laws to grab power and suppress the population, suppress freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, freedom of conscience, and freedom of thought. And freedom of expression. All rights in Cameroon have been suspended by the anti-terrorism law to grab power. To suppress dissent. To suppress outrage. You can't talk against the president. You can't talk against the corruption. You can't speak up against the violence. You can't speak up against the horrible conditions they've created, not only the people of Cameroon, but the war conditions they've imposed on the Ambazonian people. It's all for political motives, political relevance. After 8 years, more than 70,000 Ambazonians have been killed, more than 2,000 villages burned, more than 1 million displaced, 450,000 Ambazonians are in Nigeria, Benin Republic, Ghana, and other West African countries. Some have moved to Gabon, to Congo, some have taken the path to go through the desert. There are Ambazonians in Libya, the Ambazonians in Iraq, the Ambazonians in Afghanistan, because of Mr. Biya. Ambazonians have died walking through the Sahara Desert. Ambazonians have drowned, tried to make their way to Europe. All because of Mr. Biya. Because they want power. Not only Mr. Biya, all CPDM elites in Ambazonia, they are all part of this game. All CPDM elites, all colonials appointed senators, because no one was voted. Everyone now, that's also part of the colonial regional assemblies. The one in Bamenda and the one in Biya. The so-called House of Chiefs. They are now part of this game. It's all for the purposes to secure political power and maintain their source of wealth. The war in Ambazonia, it's a political strategy to secure more political power, create more elites, and expand the support base Mr. Biya has. Their support of Mr. Paul Biya, it's a support for survival. It's a support for financial survival, economic survival, class survival, fame survival. On their own, they are doomed. That's why, in the absence of the runaway dictator, I hang out too much with my Nigerian friends, runaway. In the absence of the runaway dictator, these elites in the colonial House of Chiefs, in the colonial regional parliaments, the CPDM elites, they are also the house boys and the house girls responsible for Cameroon's propaganda in Ambazonia. They are not in charge of anything. They are all tools of political gambling. Let me show you who is really in charge. As the leader has repeated many times, the colonial instruments of occupation governance in Ambazonia has collapsed because of Ambazonian defeat of Cameroon, because of our strategic defeat of Cameroon. The institution of occupation governance have all collapsed. The political leadership doesn't exist. It's now a group of cartels that are being used to run the propaganda. Video number 3, please.
Circonscription qui a eu encore des grèves. Est-ce que vous me suivez? J'ai dit, je ne veux plus entendre que votre syndicat là, vous avez fait ce que vous avez fait maintenant. C'est la toute dernière fois. Est-ce que c'est clair? C'est la dernière. Vous avez compris? Celui qui n'est pas en règle, je demande aussi à nos hommes, verbalisez-les. Laissez-moi les histoires de prendre 10 000, vous mettez dans vos poches. Nous sommes tout petits maintenant. Il faut éviter ça. Je dis, je répète, si j'entends encore, vous avez vu comment on est arrivé là, non? Vous connaissez ce que ça coûte. Je dis, c'est la dernière fois que j'entends qu'il y a encore grève ici. Ceux qui ne sont pas concernés par un problème, chacun porte sa foi.
Ah oui.
Chacun a sa voiture.
Ah oui.
Parce que ce n'est pas parce que quelqu'un a une faute, on veut le verbaliser que tout le monde doit s'arrêter sur la route. Pour déplacer le sous-préfet, pour déplacer les autorités, pour déplacer tout le monde, on vient là. Pour vous voir, on se pose en cinéma. Tout le monde nous regarde. C'est la dernière fois. Est-ce que c'est clair?
All right, pause the video here. Here's what's happening. That's the head of the gendarmerie, the Cameroon paramilitary occupation forces, in charge of that's the head of the gendarmerie, the Cameroon paramilitary force. He is responsible for the military occupation that now exists in Ambazonia. The political governance infrastructure have all collapsed. The general of the B and the head of the gendarmerie, they are now in charge of the military occupation that now exists in Ambazonia. Your so-called colonial senators, they have no say. Your so-called colonial parliamentarians, they have no say. Your so-called colonial mayors, they have zero say. Your so-called regional house of chiefs, they have zero say. Regional parliament, they have no say. It's now a military occupation. The bees are in charge. The gendarmes are in charge. The army and the police are there for intelligence gathering only. They are there for intelligence gathering and only call upon when needed. The gendarmes and the bees are in charge of the military occupation in Ambazonia. This is what we need to understand. Since Mr. Biya declared war on the Ambazonian people, where is Mr. Biya who declared war on Ambazonia? That's why the head of the gendarmerie, speaking French to people that do not understand French, talking to the Ambazonian people and giving Ambazonian drivers, taxi drivers, a stern warning in a language they do not understand. The use of force. Warning them never again for them to ever think of organizing a protest. That's what you're dealing with. They are in charge. It's the use of force. That's the language. So Mr. Biya, who declared the war, has run away. And these are the thugs they sent to Ambazonia to manage the occupation. Through the use of what? The use of force. Now, let me tell you what brought you here. Mr. Biya, who declared the war, has run away. He's a runaway dictator. Why? Because he never thought you had what it takes to resist. Because he underestimated Ambazonians. He underestimated the will of the Ambazonian people. He thought we are the generations of the Munas and the Fonchas. He thought you are the generation or Frundis. That's what they taught. So they underestimated who we are and what this generation is made up of. So after 8 years of underestimating you, of underestimating your capacity, your capability, and your will to live and to survive, your will to fight back, he's running away from the conflict. Because now it's beyond what they were expecting. It's beyond what they understood. It has become more complex for them to handle. It has become more complex for them to handle. It has become more complex for them to provide the fake solutions, to do what they've done in the past. The old tools, the old strategies they've used to seal the lips of Ambazonians, to buy the stomach and the pockets of Ambazonians, like the Munzos and the Balas. And a few others in Ambazonia, in the diaspora. Those tools have failed. The bribery and corruption they've consistently used to solve problems aren't working. Violence isn't working. Deploying thousands and thousands and thousands of forces isn't working. Buying armor cars isn't working. Sending tanks isn't working. So it's beyond their complexity. It's beyond what they can handle. That's why he's running away. What does this mean? They cannot commit to a negotiation because it doesn't fit into the thinking system of a dictator. I don't know if you've ever seen any dictator that has negotiated peacefully to end a conflict like this. If you know one in history, let me know. Mr. Biya will rather die than to negotiate with Ambazonia. Mr. Biya would rather commit suicide than for Biya to negotiate with Ambazonia. The state of Cameroon, controlled by the bees and the cartels, they would rather commit suicide than to negotiate with Ambazonia. It doesn't fit into the thinking system of power gods. Negotiation is not one of their traits. Within the social, biological orientation of power gods, Biya is a power god. All right? The thinking system is the use of violence. So negotiation is not part of their makeup. Why? Because to negotiate with Ambazonia means what? I'm wrong. To negotiate with Ambazonia means I'm wrong. The policy was wrong. It means I'm stupid. It means I've lost the war. Negotiation to Mr. Biya and to Cameroon means absolute and total defeat. Negotiations to Cameroon means we have been defeated. Negotiations to Cameroon means capitulation. And a man who has prided himself over the years with the ability to crush every single opponent and opposition now has to cave in to the Ambazonian people. Has to now sit on a negotiating table with Ambazonians that they've considered as a captured people. They now have to accept you. You now have to recognize your identity. You now have to recognize you. Negotiation to Mr. Biya and to Cameroon and to the cartels that run Cameroon. Negotiations means they've lost. It means they've lost 65% of the source of their GDP. Get this straight, Ambazonians. Get this straight. Listen very carefully. 65% of Cameroon's GDP, of all the money that runs Cameroon economy, comes from Ambazonia. Negotiations means losing that 65% of what sustained the cartel system. Mr. Biya is running away from the shame of defeat. Mr. Biya is running away from the shame of failure. That's why he's running away from. He's running away from his shame. He's running away from his shame. That's why he's afraid to negotiate. Because he has failed. And he's running away from the shame of his failure. And that's what Diongote is also running away from. That's what Atanganji is running away from. That's what all the colonial CPDM elites are running away from. Their inability to accept and deal with that shame. It's what they are running away from. That's why they are running away from the commitment to negotiate. That's why they have to go to the French to ask for help. For the French to reach out to the Americans under the Biden administration. I'm not talking about Mr. Biden as a president. I'm talking about the administration in terms of the US State Department. The French intelligence services reach out to the State Department and trigger the arrest of the leader. All because Cameroon cannot accept and live with the shame that they have been defeated in Ambazonia. Let's change the script. Let's create a new story. Let's inject a new narrative and give the people new talking points and distract them from the reality that Cameroon occupation, governance, institutions, and infrastructure in Ambazonia has collapsed because of Ambazonian strategic defeat of Cameroon. So now they have to go after Ambazonian leadership. That's why in the last few years, they've done everything humanly possible to buy out all the weak leaders they implanted to take over your resistance and choke it. That's why the only thing left for Ambazonia, I'm saying this for all Ambazonians to understand what's happening. The stakes are high. Cameroon is not willing to commit. Now it's a bribery, corrupt game they're playing to buy time for colonial elections. So, I'm just warning you, they are going to deploy all Ambazonians, all the colonial CPDM elites with bags of money and loads of money, lots and lots, big bags of money, and loads and loads and loads and loads of money, and send them all into the Ambazonian territory for bribery and corruption schemes. Cameroon is not willing to commit or to negotiate. The upcoming elections is the tipping point of this liberation struggle. The upcoming regional and colonial regional and presidential election is the tipping point of this liberation struggle. There will be a lot of temptations. Your generals, your commanders, your forces, there will be all sorts of agents on the ground to bribe and corrupt Ambazonian generals and Ambazonian forces. Stand as vanguards. Understand what's about to happen and what is happening, and protect your institutions. Protect your forces, protect your networks, and secure your forces. That's why I'm bringing this information to you. These are serious times. There are a lot of vulnerabilities within all the failed movements. Those failed movements now have loose agents out there that are all vulnerable. So these are critical times. The dictator is on the run. The houseboys and house girls that are fighting for their own social, economic, financial, and status, fame. They are fighting all the houseboys and house girls of the CPDM created elites, including those in the colonial house of chiefs and colonial and regional assemblies, will be out there with their agents. They will take all the state money. They will be sent into Ambazonia. They will be sent into your communities to infiltrate, because they want to maintain power They are not interested in your welfare or the well-being of your future or of your children or the future of your children. They are only interested in the use of force, bribery, and corruption to maintain their grip on the occupation. That gives them 65% of the GDP that runs the various cartels called the state of Cameroon. Once you understand this, then we can go to work as a people. A proper assessment of that will help us to be able to calibrate properly and to set the proper set of strategies in place to protect our forces and to intensify the resistance and to know that the war we face now is a different war. It's mostly a war of propaganda being carried out by CPDM colonial elites, and the Ambazonian Governing Council and the Ambazonian forces must come together and craft out an open policy on what Ambazonians should do to everyone going into Ambazonia for colonial elections campaign. The Ambazonia Governing Council, the leadership of Ambazonia Governing Council, and Ambazonian forces and generals must come together and craft out an open policy on how the ground should respond to the threats that are being caused by the thousands of Ambazonians that are being deployed into the territory to carry out acts of provocations, propaganda, bribery, and corruption to the liberation and to Ambazonian forces. This is the greatest threat we as a people now face. That's my message to all of us today. Thank you, ACN.
Shake, shake, no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, and I'll win. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors displaying. Ambazonia's bright future starts today. Shake, shake, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong. We're marching forward where we belong. belong. We'll shake off the fear and cast out the doubt. Our spirits will rise, there's no turning out. Freedom is our anthem, justice our creed. Shake, shake, no day, with love we will lead. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Ambazonia stands strong, we're marching forward where we belong. Shake, shake, no day, the future is bright. Ambazonia will shine like a beacon of light. With every heartbeat, our message will be sent. Shake, shake, no day, until the very end. A cruise boy to sing. Under the moon, where they vex, your whispers they jam. Dreams scatter like ashes for night where they cold. Hope break scatter like branch for storm. Now bad people hand, innocent they suffer. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pay. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For the shock where they hollow. Dr. Cho, Sissiko and others, them chain them but them no fit bow. Them voice now like thunder, where they under dark clouds. World where the town face go far, no care, he they go. You leave your children, they suffer. Them stories they untold. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For they talk where they alone. Inside these shadows, small fire they grow. Freedom they call, where hopelessness been they show. For every heart, resistance they burn. Ambazonia go stand gidigba, you no go fear night. Oh mama, Ambazonia, your heart they pain. Tears they fall like a river, like the sky they cry again. IDPs and refugees they walk out. Widows they hold space where they empty, them cry go they echo. For this hug go they hollow. Mama Ambazonia, the stars they talk story of courage where no they shake. Even when wind they blow scatter, for morning light we go there. Your children go they sing, a freedom way go fly high, like wings for sky. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah. The Kayama, no vex better go follow. Ambazonia, now I own na son. A conspiracy, we go in. I'll break boys do the work for the ground. Wanna flag there.
Welcome to ACN.
A significant mystery in the United Nations history remains unresolved. The 1961 plane crash that took the life of Secretary General Dag Hammarskjöld and everyone else on board while he was attempting to negotiate peace in the Congo.
Good afternoon, fellow Ambazonians. I come to you today to let you know that your resistance is grounded on historical facts. I want you to pay attention to this write-up by the then Secretary General of the United Nations, Dag Hammarskjöld, who said, uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. He said uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic. He didn't say reuniting, which means that we have been groomed with a false narrative that we are reuniting with Cameroon as if we were a state and we were separated before coming back. No. After the Germans lost the war wars and their overseas territories, Cameroon, there was a Southern Cameroon and there was a Republic of Cameroon. We were never a country together. The German influence. The German had influence around there, even Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, Chad, they were German territories. Part of Nigeria, they were German territories. So, and these countries are autonomous countries on their own. The Southern Cameroon was a nation on its own.
Our nation is bilingual.
We were not being reunited to Cameroon because we were not one nation. So the false narrative of being reunited is a lie, is a historical fallacy that our people must know, so that this notion of that we were one and we were being reunited is a very big lie. The Secretary General at that time said uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. Our forebears tried. They were humiliated and defeated because of lack of weapons to fight. This generation will not bequeath to the next generation this fight. I just wanted to make this clarification so that we picture ourselves in why we are fighting, so that we will continue without retreating till we get the objectives, till we achieve the objectives to why we started this journey. God bless Ambazonia.
Dear brothers and sisters of this great forum, a forum of peace builders, a forum of talented gentlemen and ladies, I want to use this opportunity to thank all of you for the collaboration you gave me as your son and your brother during our peace talks. Last Sunday, I handed over officially the pictorial cross to the new moderator. I want to thank each one of you for the prayers and the support you gave me. Immediately after that ceremony on Sunday, yesterday, Monday, I took off for Yaoundé because the Prime Minister invited me to be part of the follow-up committee of the Grand National Dialogue. To my greatest shock and surprise, Minister Jumesi, the Minister of Public Works, got up and said the Bauru Akwaya Nigeria border road has been done up to 93% by Honorable Walang. Immediately he finished, I got up and objected that there is nothing like that. There is no road done in that area. And so the man left in shame and went and stayed outside. I don't know what he called Walang, but he called the delegate of public works, and then he sent words to his representative who was in the hall to tell us that the delegate has confirmed that that road has been done 93%. Dear brothers and sisters of this great forum, if we don't fight this with our blood, we will never have a road in our area. It will take another 20, 30 years. So what I'm proposing is that since we have our boys in Esimbi, from Benahundu right up to Benade, right to Bauru, they should do a video of that road. They should take a whole day and do a video of that road on foot, gently, making commentaries in pidgin. If they cannot speak English, they make commentary in pidgin till they reach the end of the road in Bauru. Then they cross over. If we have some Berlin boys that we can contact, they cross over and take the same measures and take the road from the bridge right up to Berlin Market. Then when we have these videos, we'll write an official letter. I'll send it directly. I'll go right to the Prime Minister's office and hand this letter to him, including the videos, so that Walang and whoever has chopped that money will be called to book, and that road must be done. That road must be done. So that's what I'm pleading with all of us, out to stand together on this and send those boys to video that road for us so that we can have a case. We should do it as soon as possible. If you hear this message and you have somebody that can do it for us, and even if that person needs some money for the trekking from maybe Befang right down to Bauru, I will pay. I will pay. And if that arrangement is made, tell me how much the boys are asking. I'll send you the money to give them. We must have this case on the table of the Prime Minister as soon as possible. God bless you, my dear brothers and sisters. There is no way that we can stop fighting for our people. There is no way that we can stop peace in our area. And I think that the road is an enabler to that peace that we are looking for. The road is an enabler to stop poverty in our midst and to bring our people out of their misery. We must do this so that their crops from their farms can find their ways to towns like Bamenda and Bafusam, where they can sell the sweat of their labor with quality and high money, instead of having the food crop get rotten in their farms. Dear brothers, I need your cooperation. God bless you. God bless the Isimbi clan. God bless Mesaka Eko clan. God bless us as a people. Thank you. Samuel Funky is my name.
Be honest to ourselves. A lot has been done. That is why the president sent me to come here, to tell you that it is time. It is time that we regain our territory. We regain our independence, we regain our sovereignty, our normalcy, our dignity. Be honest to ourselves. A lot has been done. That is why the president sent me to come here, to tell you that it is time. It is time that we regain our territory. We regain our independence, we regain our sovereignty, our normalcy, our dignity.
Welcome to ACN.
Good afternoon, fellow Ambazonian. Welcome to this episode of the interview. Today, we'll be talking with the extraordinary and great researcher and expert, Dr. Michael Rubin. So we ask all of you, as you join us, to make sure you invite your family and friends to listen very carefully to a seasoned voice, an expert who is going to give us perspective, maybe some education and some insights about why genocide, for example, why they occur, what are the triggering mechanisms, what causes them, what drives them, what sponsors them, what funds them. This is very essential for Ambazonians to understand what's going on in the conflict between Ambazonia and Cameroon and the underlying influences that are driving, funding, and maybe sponsoring the conflict and probably the genocide on the Ambazonian people. Today, let's have an insightful and educational interaction with Dr. Michael Rubin. Doctor, thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me, Lucas. It's a pleasure to be here and with the Ambazonian audience.
Well, we're so glad to have you. You have quite an extensive background. Let me read a little bit of your background. You are a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute and a director of policy analysis at the Middle East Forum. You are a former Pentagon official. You've lived in post-revolution Iran, Yemen, and also Iraq. You have also spent time with the Taliban before 9/11. Very interesting. For more than a decade, you've taught classes at the C for the Horn of about the Horn of Africa, the Middle East conflict, culture, terrorism, to deployed U.S. Navy and Marine units. Dr. Rubin is the author and co-author and co-editor of several books exploring diplomacy, Iranian history, Arab culture, Kurdish studies, and Shiite politics. Holy smokes. You've been in the most contentious parts of the globe. You've lived in places most people are scared to go there except your special forces. How have you been able to do all of this?
Well, thank you very much, Lucas. As you know, there's no better way to learn about a region than to be there. And I should say what's actually not on my biography, but explains a great deal of my interest in Ambazonia, is I used to work extensively in Black churches in Philadelphia, where I grew up, and I was a Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Fellow in the U.S. Congress before my career pulled me a little bit more into the Middle East. But I often, when I go to these locations, will end up interacting not only with government officials, but also with students from a bottom-up approach so that I can understand the ground truth. And my goal, and I'm not in government right now, I'm in a private institute, is to help advise the US government on how to correct US policy, especially among the voiceless. And I should say that the institute where I work, American Enterprise Institute, is a nonprofit. I do not get paid for any of my work with regard to Cameroon or Ambazonia. I'm not a lobbyist. My salary is there to just call things as I see it. But I want to make that clear for the audience, that no one is paying me or telling me what to say. I'm doing this because this is what myself as an individual conclude. And this is what I advise the US government when I have the opportunity to.
First of all, we want to thank you. You've traveled, you've had a very long flight. You just came back from India. That was last night, and for you, a few hours later, you're conducting this interview. This means a lot to us. We're very grateful. Our people are very grateful. You have something very important and very special that will be worthy for our people to pay very close attention. You've written an article that is alarming in the first place, but it's also very exposing. You wrote an article about the Rwandan genocide, the causes of it, the triggers of it, but you also made a correlation, you drew a parallel between that genocide and the conflict in Ambazonia. Here are some of the things you said in your article before we get started. You said the anti-Tutsi genocide in Rwanda was not spontaneous. You quoted Mr. Robert Muse, a respectful Washington lawyer who made an extensive research travel. You said the French trained and encouraged some of the worst elements known to advance the plan for the Hutus to slaughter Tutsi. French soldiers even mounted checkpoints. The French, after the genocide have started, even spawned a cynical narrative blaming the Tutsis for provoking the genocide. This is like saying the Jews provoke the Holocaust. Help us give us a background of that research, the article, what you found, the empirical evidence, and what first of all made you to write this article in the first place.
Well, thank you very much. I'm a historian by training, and so I spend a lot of time in the archives and among other historians. And I also, while I've only been to Cameroon once, just in the airport in Douala, so I've never really been in the country. I do spend a lot of time in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Central African Republic, Rwanda, and the Horn of Africa, as well as places like Mali and Burkina Faso. So when I'm coming to this region, although I hope one day to come to a free Ambazonia and a free Cameroon once Paul Biya dies, and that can't happen soon enough. At 92 years old, he shouldn't be a dictator anymore. Cameroonians, not just Ambazonia, Cameroonians deserve better as well. The point of this is that when it comes to the anti-Tutsi genocide in Rwanda, it's now been more than 30 years. And so many of the documents surrounding it in Paris, in the Quai d'Orsay archives, the archives of the French Foreign Ministry, have been declassified. And what we see is a concern in those documents that Paul Kagame and the Rwandan Patriotic Front were Anglophones, and they wanted to make Rwanda Anglophone. And the French, for the very simple reason of their twisted perception of national honor, that everyone should speak French, decided to help the Hutu extremists. And they did this with the full knowledge. Now, not all Hutus participated in the genocide. There are many moderate Hutus, and they were killed too by the extremists. But for those of you who have seen the images of the anti-Tutsi genocide, you know about the machete-wielding militants at the checkpoints. Oftentimes, those people were trained by the French, or they even had French special forces with them in the run-up and during the initial days of the genocide. This is now not only undeniable, but last year or 2 years ago when this was exposed, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, flew to Kigali to meet President Paul Kagame, and he apologized for the French role. Now, I would say that apology is insincere if we see much the same behavior from France today. And you know what? It's not just in Rwanda where people are tired of French cynicism, and it's not just in Ambazonia and Cameroon, where the 1972 abrogation of federalism was nothing short of illegal. We see people, Africans, reacting to the cynicism of the French in Mali, in Burkina Faso. The French need to come to terms with their own history, and they need to come to terms with justice and the illegality of some of the dictators like Paul Biya, whom they're relying upon. The French have relied on Paul Biya for decades, but again, he's 92 years old. He's going to die. And not only people in Ambazonia, but also in people in Cameroon want nothing other than the dictator to be gone, and they associate the French with that dictatorship.
So tell us, what role does the French policy to make sure Rwanda becomes Francophonized, influenced, drove, triggered, sponsored the Rwandan the genocide in Rwanda?
That look,
because
I mean, the archival documents, the archival documents show that was the whole reason for the genocide. The French wanted to rely on the Hutus because because of Belgian colonialism, were more French speaking, and many of the Tutsis were not. That was enough. That language discrimination, that ethnic discrimination was enough to drive French policy. At the same time, the French like a compliant dictator. Why? Because the French like to loot resources. We saw this in the Central African Republic. Rwanda didn't have as many resources, but Ambazonia does. Cameroon does, and that's why the French now rely on Paul Biya. And that's why, the same reasons as Rwanda, that's why they really are encouraging the perpetration of genocide in Ambazonia. Now, the difference between Rwanda and Cameroon is in Ambazonia, the problem is the abrogation of federalism in 1972. The problem is that in the original referendum, people didn't have an option to become independent. That the people in Ambazonia don't want to take over all of Cameroon. So I see a resolution, if the French would correct their policy, as being even easier in the future than in Rwanda, simply because in this area, the history devolves. The people of Ambazonia don't want to take over much of Cameroon. They only want their own homeland.
And you said here clearly that the prime motivator for the French president at the time, Francois Mitterrand, was antagonism to the Tutsi for seeking to be Anglophones. The French policymakers, the policymaker class, sought to preserve Francophone even at the cost of genocide. Sir, is this the same policy Mr. Biya and the French are using in their war against the Ambazonian people in order to turn Ambazonia into a French type of a French type of a conquered territory, or is it something different? What is the underlying motivator of Biya's war on the Ambazonian people?
The answer to that is yes. The French are doing this because of a twisted pride in Francophony, but they're also doing this because they see themselves still as colonial masters of Africa. Countries like Cameroon may have become independent, but in the French mind, they're still second-class countries. France doesn't treat them as equals. And so from the French perspective, it's not simply a matter of controlling Paul Biya, but the problem is also that they don't want any country that is primarily English speaking, they see as a threat to their influence. And they don't understand that this sort of 19th century mentality, this sort of mercantile driven colonial policy is the reason why across the Sahel, people are turning to Russia or to other countries, and why the French are hemorrhaging influence. You know, this past August, I traveled to North Kivu in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where M23 is now fighting the Congolese government. And in the portions of North Kivu I was arriving at, some people spoke French, many people spoke English as well, and it is one of the main reasons why the French are supporting the Congolese dictator, Felix Tshisekedi, even though he's been a complete failure and has the aspiration to become like Robert Mugabe or Paul Biya. The fact of the matter is, the French may say one thing about human rights when they're sitting in Europe, the Norwegians too, who have arrested your president, but they say another thing, and there's an inherent racism when they look at Africa and how their policy is driven in Africa.
Help us understand, besides the language issue, which France wants to make sure it secures in Ambazonia. Help us also understand what is behind France's primary interest in supporting Paul Biya and the Cameroon government, besides their benefits in Ambazonia, which is where 65% of, I know you already know this, which is where 65% of the GDP is coming from, which is where most of the natural resources, the oil is coming from. Help us to understand what else is driving this French hatred or interest.
You know, it's hard to explain the French, period. But a lot of it, I mean, when we look at what drives French policy, number one is pride. Number two is resources. When we look at the Central African Republic, the French tolerated a brutal dictator who declared himself emperor for years, because we now know from, again, archival documents and from police investigations, the French leadership was receiving diamonds, basically was receiving not just the benefit to France, but in a corrupt way to their own bank accounts. I suspect something similar is occurring with Paul Biya. The problem is that when you support a dictator, ultimately that dictator collapses. And to be perfectly fair, this is one of my criticisms at times of American policy as well. Too often in the United States, and it doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republican, we will support individuals over systems. But an individual can be gone tomorrow. Inherently, what you need to do is build up a system that can control your government. This is what Lucas Cho has been doing, or had been doing, before the Norwegians arrested him. Now, the point of this is that the French right now are probably even more scared and more worried, because the person whom they placed all their bets on, President Biya, is, again, he just had his birthday. He's in his 90s. He's not going to be there forever. And they're probably very, very scared that when he goes, that there's going to be chaos. So this is the reason why in 2016, when the president was already in his 80s, they cracked down so hard on the peaceful protests, because they're afraid of civil society. But, you know, you can only kick the can down the road for so long before the road ends. That's what we're seeing right now in Cameroon and Ambazonia.
What's the influence of France's need for uranium fueling Mr. Biya's action in Ambazonia?
Well, look, to some extent, yes. But most of the French uranium still comes from Niger. That said, the belief that there is, that the uranium exists and that in mineable qualities is also driving the French. Also, I mean, look, the 21st century economy is based on rare earths and various minerals. The former oil minister of Saudi Arabia, Zaki Yamani, famously said, the Stone Age didn't end for a lack of stones. And what he was implying was the oil age isn't going to end for a lack of oil. We're already moving on to a new age where so many of these minerals become important. And so when we look at the Democratic Republic of Congo with $24 trillion worth of resources, when we look at the Central African Republic, there's a reason for the struggle right now between the French and the Russians there. And Cameroon, of course, is right, if you will, in the same region. And therefore, I mean, there's a belief that Cameroon could be wealthy in the way that Kuwait or Qatar are wealthy in the Persian Gulf, only instead of having the gas and the oil drive the economy like in the 20th century in the Middle East, some of the mineral resources are going to drive the economy in the 21st century. And so one of the reasons why Cameroon doesn't want to have Ambazonia be free, I'm not even just talking about independence, I'm talking about what the agreement originally was with regard to the federalism, is because of pure and utter greed. They want a greater share of this money. They are corrupt in Yaoundé, in Cameroon, and the French want their piece of the pie. And if I may, Lucas, this is the same thing that's going on with regard to Nigeria and Biafra. I mean, the two countries, Ambazonia and Biafra, have a lot in common. Of course, in Nigeria, language isn't the issue so much as religion, but really the resources are one of the most important reasons driving this conflict.
So what could be Norway's interest then in all of this? What is Norway's interest? To arrest Dr. Cho? How is Dr. Cho a stumbling block to what you have said in terms of all of this economic interest, to protect this economic interest? How is Dr. Cho a stumbling block to that? How is Ambazonian quest for freedom a stumbling block to that? As you've quoted, as you wrote in your interview, will they do this?
Okay. Yeah, Lucas, let me broaden out just for a second, and not just talk about Norway, but talk about Scandinavia. Talk about Finland, Sweden, and Norway. We often hear about the Scandinavians praising themselves about their respect for human rights, their respect for democracy, and all of that. But when you actually look at their record, it's rather poor, and if I may, it's also rather racist. So, for example, as you said in your introduction, I'm much more of a Middle East specialist, and I spend a lot of my time with the Kurds, not just the Kurds in Iraq, but also in Turkey and in Syria. Now, when the United States and NATO wanted Sweden and Finland to join NATO, the way NATO works is that it's a consensus organization. When you take a new member, everyone has to agree. You can't just have a vote. And so Turkey was able to blackmail the military alliance by saying, we're going to veto Sweden joining unless Sweden betrays the Kurdish dissidents who lived in Sweden. Stockholm has one of the largest populations of Kurdish dissidents and also Turkish dissidents, all the journalists that the police state in Turkey tried to arrest. And you know what? Sweden caved in and even sent some of the Kurdish leaders they arrested back to Turkey, where they would be tortured and perhaps they've even been killed. So Sweden, of course, is cynical. And now that brings us to Finland when it comes to the Biafrans. Now, the reason why the Finns cracked down and arrested the president in exile of Biafra was two reasons. First of all, because because Finland had a lot of dealings with Nigeria in terms of energy and other products. And for all of Finland's talk about human rights, what mattered only to the Finns was the money. I mean, what do they have to worry about Biafra? If Biafra doesn't yet exist, they can pretend it's not a problem. But in reality, by siding with the Nigerian government, they're actually encouraging the genocide in Biafra, because the government of Nigeria looks at the cynicism of Finland and concludes that they literally can get away with murder. So this brings us to the president of Ambazonia. And I'm afraid the same thing is going on with regard to Norway, in terms of simply wanting to address the status quo. It's easy to pretend that he doesn't have popular support, even though he does. And as far as Scandinavians are concerned, if all the journalists, if all the television cameras are in Gaza or in Ukraine, filming what's happening there, then they can pretend that the genocide isn't happening in Amazonia. Genocide only happens in the dark. It only happens when the television cameras aren't there, which, by the way, is one reason why I was so happy to do this interview today with you, Lucas, because the more we can shed light on this issue, and the safer Ambazonia will be, and the more likely it will be that Norway will be forced to release the democratic dissidents that it has arrested for cynical, money, and racist reasons.
Only you, with your expertise, your research, can shed light on these issues. And our people are listening, they're watching, they're paying very close attention to your expertise, your voice of truth, your honesty, and your transparency. Let's move to Cameroon. Is it possible at the age of 92 for Mr. Biya to hold another 7-year term in office? He will be 99 years old. Why are they holding this election?
Honestly, I don't think it will be possible for him to continue to hold on to power. And let's face it, most 92-year-olds simply don't live another 7 years. But let's also be honest here, that the problem isn't just Ambazonia and Paul Biya's attitude towards Amazonia. The problem is also Paul Biya's stewardship of Cameroon itself. And when I interact with Cameroonians in the United States, I don't hear a difference of opinion between those from Ambazonia who speak English and those from the rest of Cameroon who speak French. The fact of the matter is, Paul Biya victimizes everyone. And in the future, if Ambazonia is going to be free, and if Ambazonia is going to prosper, it's got to live at peace with the rest of Cameroon, hopefully under a government in Cameroon that is at peace with itself and its independent neighbors like Ambazonia. So the point here is that everyone suffers under Paul Biya. The last thing I would point out, Lucas, is that every Democrat wakes up in the morning, every Democratic president wakes up in the morning and knows when his term in office is going to be over. Every dictator wakes up in the morning thinking that today could be his last day. And I'm sure that's going to be going on in the mind of Paul Biya as well. And today very well could be his last day. And so it's crucial, not only for the people of Ambazonia, but also for the people of Cameroon, to plan the next steps as soon as Paul Biya is dead and in the ground.
To plan the next step, if there is no step at the moment when Mr. Biya is on the CPDM ruling party, they've dominated the political scene for the last 42 years. He wants to run for another 7-year term. Do you see any credible opposition within Cameroon itself that can unseat Mr. Biya?
Yeah, well, let me put it this way. You're absolutely right. And this is one of the reasons why it's so important that Ambazonia continues to organize itself as the president has been doing up until the day that Norway arrested him. So you've got a situation there where in Ambazonia, it's going to be okay. You're absolutely right in the rest of Cameroon. The fact that he has strangled the opposition is a problem. That said, they're going to face a struggle, much like Iraq faced a struggle after the death of Saddam Hussein. But what I also like to point out in situations like this is that the next president of Cameroon is likely in a Cameroonian prison right now. The next president of Cameroon isn't going to come out of Paul Biya's party. It's going to come out of those whom he's tried to suppress.
Do you have any advice to the Cameroonian people, what they should prepare themselves for, what they should get ready for, what they should anticipate, or what specific steps and action they can take between now and October 7?
Look, and the people of Ambazonia are doing what they need to do. They tried to resist peacefully, and we saw what happened after the teachers' protests. So they need to do what they need to do. That said, when it comes to securing the local communities, that's going to be up to the Ambazonians, because they're in Douala, in Yaoundé, in other cities in Cameroon. There's going to be chaos as people try to fill the void and a civil war erupts. This is why it's so essential that the Norwegians be on the right side rather than the wrong side of history.
That's your advice for the Ambazonian people. What's your advice for the Camerooners? What should Cameroon do? What should the young people in Cameroon do? What should women do? What should civil society movement do? What should political opposition party do in Cameroon in anticipation of the chaos?
Well, first of all, perhaps Cameroon's greatest export has always been its people, simply because Paul Biya is like President Isaias in Eritrea. Just an incompetent brute who cares nothing about his people and only about himself, who treats his country as a country of slaves. So it's going to be very, very difficult for them. But the diaspora community, especially in France, should be protesting every day in front of the Quai d'Orsay in order to make clear that Paul Biya isn't their leader, isn't their local leader, isn't their legitimate leader. In Cameroon itself, there is no magic formula, because look, I can sit here outside of Washington, D.C. and pretend that I have the answers, but I'm not facing Paul Biya's secret police. I'm not facing a prison term or torture in Douala. The fact of the matter is, I can say what I want and Paul Biya can't do a damn thing to me. So I have it easy. But if I were living in Cameroon, it's a very different situation. So they also need to ensure and be lobbying right now across Europe, in the United States, wherever they are, for the aid and the assistance to come in and for the legitimacy to be denied for any new dictator. Cameroon is one of the most brutal dictatorships in Africa and one of the most brutal dictatorships on earth. And the African people deserve much better. There's no reason. Look, African solutions for African problems. So why shouldn't Cameroon be like Botswana or Namibia or South Africa? Why shouldn't it be a country that thrives? And the fact of the matter is, the Cameroonian people have the human capital to do this. It's just going to take the removal of the dictator Paul Biya, and that can't come soon enough.
Welcome back, our fellow viewers. And this is the interview with a special guest, Dr. Michael Rubin. Doctor, welcome back.
Back with you. I'm glad we've worked out some of our technical difficulties.
You're very passionate about what you were saying. Let's get back to it. We're getting to the end of this program. Let's get back to it. Did Norway anticipated the backlash after arresting Dr. Cho? Did they anticipate the backlash? There was an expectation that by arresting the Ambazonian leader, Cameroon will succeed to decapitate the leadership, both in the diaspora and on the ground. 5 months later, the forces on the ground are much more stronger. Our leadership is much more focused, and we have intensified our diplomatic outreach and engagement. Did they anticipate all of this?
No, it's clear they did not. The Norwegians were operating from a position of ignorance. They probably, look, the Norwegians only have contacts with the Cameroonian government. The Cameroonians lodged a complaint, and without knowing anything about the legitimacy of the complaint, the Norwegians acted. But the fact of the matter is, what's going on in Ambazonia is an attempted genocide. The Ambazonians have no place to, nothing, they can't do anything but to fight if they're going to remain alive, if they're going to remain free. They are on the correct side of international law. And so the Norwegians now are learning a lesson. What we need to do, what Ambazonia needs to do, and what Ambazonians need to do is not just condemn Norway for its imprisonment and persecution of Dr. Cho. What they need to do is also give Norway an off-ramp so that the Norwegians will release him in a way that helps them save face. And then maybe, as the Norwegians learn more about the true situation, they can play a positive role. What I don't want to happen is what happened in Rwanda with France, where it takes France 30 years to say, we were wrong, and to apologize, because that doesn't bring back the victims of the anti-Tutsi genocide. It's essential that Norway understand the truth now, and how they're siding with one of the world's worst dictators who's trying to perpetrate a genocide, rather than siding with the decolonization of Africa and siding with the implementation of agreements which were illegally violated back in the 1970s by the Cameroonian government.
Now, as you already know, we have about more than 1,000 villages that have been burnt. We have more than 750,000 Ambazonians that are now living in the forest. We have hundreds of thousands of Ambazonian children that haven't been to school. We have more than 450,000 Ambazonian refugees in Nigeria spread across Africa, and some have moved even to the United States because of this conflict. We have more than 5,000 Ambazonian who are in Cameroon's concentration camps. With the humanitarian situation, coupled with the chaos that will be ensuing in Cameroon, how do we salvage this situation in the short term?
Lucas, I wish we had a magic formula, but in the short term, there's nothing you can do but what you're doing right now. After the crackdown on the teachers' protests, the civil society protests of 2016, you tried to do things peacefully, and you were met with torture, murder, and genocide. You have to fight in order to protect yourself and your villages against one of the continent's most brutal dictatorships. And you shouldn't apologize to that, because people in Norway don't understand what's actually going on in the ground. You have to protect your forces. Now remember that in Rwanda, the genocide ended not because the Scandinavians came to some sort of deal, or they pretended in France or Belgium that things were just fine in Rwanda and Burundi. They weren't. It ended with the victory of Paul Kagame. And today, Rwanda is like the Silicon Valley of the Great Lakes region of Africa. So once you win, what I would actually do if I were Ambazonia is reach out to the Rwandans and say, how can you help us replicate what you have done inside Africa, inside the Great Lakes region, to pull yourself up and to change society after this brutal anti-Tutsi genocide? According to Transparency International, Rwanda has gone from corruption levels 20 years ago that were akin to what we see in Libya and Yemen. And today, it has the corruption levels of the Czech Republic. The fact of the matter is businesses flock to Rwanda, and the new generation really is coming into its own. So when you look at a model, again, African solutions for African problems. Rwanda provides an African solution to the problem you face. Norway in 2025 is like France was in 1995. Don't be like Norway.
There are some that will say, oh, what you have said so far is so nice. It sounds good. It sounds reasonable. But you know what? There are some Ambazonians that want a united Cameroon. There are some Ambazonians that said they want special status. There are some Ambazonians that want, they have been with Cameroon for so long. They are part of the elite class. They are part of the structure that has kept that society for so long. There are some that will even argue with you to say, oh, you know what? We are federalists. What do you make of this? And what message do you have for all of these different constituencies and voices?
Well, let me put it this way. It's a great question. First of all, I'm not Ambazonian and I'm not Cameroonian. Ultimately, this is going to be a decision for Ambazonia and Cameroon. What I would say is perhaps the root of the problem historically was that the referendum, which was held in what is now Ambazonia, wasn't a full referendum. It didn't give you the full options to decide whether or not you wanted to be independent. You had two options, and you chose to go into federalism. So why not have another referendum with more options? Federalism, no federalism, independence. But if I were Ambazonia's leadership, I would have enough self-confidence to believe that you would actually win. Now, at the very least, however, the time to return to federalism, which was agreed upon Cameroon's independence, is now, because it was illegally abrogated back in 1972, 1973. And so no one should accept the fact that the status quo in Cameroon is what is legal or legitimate. The last point I would make is the same thing I hear when I talk to, for example, the Kurds in Syria or the Kurds in Iraq, or the Greeks and the Turks. That, for example, today no one likes Turkey. Turkey is a force of instability. Turkey supports groups like the Islamic State. But if you're Kurdish, you can't just be anti-Turkey, because you're never going to thrive until Turkey is democratic and at peace with itself and its neighbors. So whatever Ambazonians decide, federalism, independence, the fact is they must also support democracy in Cameroon, because until Cameroon is safe and secure and free from madmen like Paul Biya, then you will not have security even if you win your independence. So you need democracy in Cameroon, and you need freedom and democracy in Ambazonia.
Doctor, we thank you very much for your insights. We thank you very much for such an engaging, passionate conversation. You have the last word for our people.
Look, all I can say is God bless Ambazonia. I support your struggle.
Dr. Michael, thank you very much for your brilliance. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fellow Ambazonians, you've listened. I'm sure most of you have learned a lot. You've learned what is driving these conflicts, what is driving this genocide, these abuses, this exploitation. That's why it's important to have seasoned voice, experts, people with the background, with the wealth of knowledge, with the wealth of experience, people that have seen, studied, lived in different parts of the globe with conflict that are even worse than ours. Their experiences, their knowledge, the lessons they have learned can help us to not only succeed as a people who want freedom, but what to do with that freedom. Most importantly, what we must do now with this knowledge. We thank Dr. Ruben for his contribution today, and we look forward to having him many more times to talk with our people. Thank you so much, ACN, for hosting us. This is the interview.
A significant mystery in the United Nations history remains unresolved. The 1961 plane crash that took the life of Secretary General Dag Hammarskjöld and everyone else on board while he was attempting to negotiate peace in the Congo.
Good afternoon, fellow Ambazonians. I come to you today to let you know that your resistance is grounded on historical facts. I want you to pay attention to this write-up by the then Secretary General of the United Nations, Dag Hammarskjöld, who said, uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. He said, uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic. He didn't say reuniting, which means that we have been groomed with a false narrative that we are reuniting with Cameroon as if we were a state and we were separated before coming back. No. After the Germans lost the war wars and their overseas territories, Cameroon, there was a Southern Cameroon and there was a Republic of Cameroon. We were never a country together. The German influence. The German had influence around there, even Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, Chad, they were German territories. Part of Nigeria, they were German territories. So, and these countries are autonomous countries on their own. The Southern Cameroon was a nation on its own.
Our nation is bilingual.
We were not being reunited to Cameroon because we were not one nation. So the false narrative of being reunited is a lie, is a historical fallacy that our people must know, so that this notion of that we're one and we're being reunited is a very big lie. The Secretary General at that time said, uniting the Southern Cameroons to the Cameroon Republic is like forcing a balloon under the sea. One day it will come out. Our forebears tried. They were humiliated and defeated because of lack of weapons to fight. This generation will not bequeath to the next generation this fight. I just wanted to make this clarification so that we picture ourselves in why we are fighting, so that we will continue without retreating till we get the objectives, till we achieve the objectives to why we started this journey. God bless Ambazonia.
And more information is going to come. I met Judas Iscariot of Southern Cameroon, people who have blood in their hands, who took money, who worked with a Tanganji, who decided to do the false attacks in terms of what they call in warfare, false flag attacks. I go attack you, and I start shouting, now we be picking them for Choayaba. Now we this, we can't do now. Let me give you an example. 2 CPDM Manu people in North America, whose names I will keep, are fighting for a chieftaincy dispute in a Manu village. One of them realizes that he is losing. He sends money that Amber boys should go and disrupt the event. These are not people who have anything to do with the Ambazonia struggle. They are just Southern Cameroonians, but they know that war is a racket, so they're going to use the Ambazonia struggle and sully the movement. To the gullible Cameroonian, oh, now Amba people don't kill him, but you have to dig deeper. This is what we call false flag attacks. I want to go kill you, Lucas Sassou. I take the t-shirt of your enemy, and after killing you, I throw that t-shirt there. I set up the scenario for misleading this investigation. So that when people come and say, oh, now who is t-shirt this? Ah, now this man, now he kill Lucas. You know, see, he run, he leave his t-shirt here. So Southern Cameroonians, let me tell you, the first casualty of every war is the truth. A lie can go halfway around the world. During that time, the truth is lacing its boots. When the truth will lace its boots, it will overtake the lie. Atanganji, who formed a whole militia, Ngongo was paying him. Let the children go and terrorize the population so that they should turn against Ambazonia. Right now, what they did was, these Ambazonian leaders, we need to buy them. Give them money. Let them be quiet. Those who don't want to take money will kill them. I know this. I was the first press secretary of the SDF when it was formed in 1990. I was a journalist at ACN TV. Gervais Mendoza called me in his office and said, Monsieur Eyon, on me dit que vous êtes du Sud-Ouest. I said, oui, monsieur le directeur. Qu'est-ce que tu fais avec ces gens-là? I said, monsieur le directeur, quels gens? Les gens du Nord-Ouest. And I asked him, I said, Mr. Director, when you appointed me, a senior journalist from the School of Journalism, to be the assistant to a francophone who has only O level, was it because I was from the Northwest or the Southwest? So this is the game, the CPDM game that even we, the Southern Cameroonians, have fallen into. Now, let me tell you right now, I am still investigating to find out how many other people took money, because Eko, Mbayu, and Florence Ufe Chinje Malo, the lady who was rector of the Chang University, who carried the money and came here and laundered it through the bank account of the embassy, which is responsible for money laundering, because the State Department has even expelled, virtually asked the Cameroon government to take Fue Atangana back because he was involved in money laundering. Cameroon is a kleptocracy, a government of thieves by thieves for thieves. So what they do to you is they bribe you. And if you refuse to take bribes, they blackmail you.
Oh, Uncle, we'll get there. First, as we've said, the truth will set us free. Ambazonians have a notion that they have leaders out here. Some Ambazonians, very well educated, with degrees upon degrees, are in these movements. For us to purify this liberation struggle, we need to speak the truth to our people.
Yes.
To align our people to what works, to the people that are betraying them, and masking themselves as leaders.
Yes.
You are a journalist. Why are you bringing this information to the public? What makes you to want to speak out today?
I'm speaking out because our people have paid for their independence with their blood. But the people who were confided with the responsibility to lead the movement have become against the movement. And one of the conditions for being against the movement is to continue to pretend to be a leader. Ikome Sako is ready to take money and pay a French journalist to be vilifying Cho Ayaba, because I have investigated Cho Ayaba. All the time they kept saying, Cho Ayaba, the war with government. Cho Ayaba. I said, okay, I'm an investigative journalist. I will find out. I have investigated Cho Ayaba. Because if I found out that Cho Ayaba was working with the government of Cameroon, I would be the first to denounce him. I fear nobody. Young people have died for this movement. We have a responsibility not to betray them. Ngu Santos took money. Ebenezer Akangwa took money. Sako took money. I am going to give you more names. And what they do, Eko came here. Eko came here. He will make you sign under a paper and give you crumbs and go report to the presidency that they gave you millions. In fact, they end up not giving anything. One of the people called me and said, Mr. Larry, you go see which way I will be. They can't give me post for government. He knows. These people talked to me. They told me. And I had conversations with them. Can you repeat the names of purported Ambazonian leaders, pseudo Ambazonian leaders
who collected money from Cameroon. Can we know their names, and can we know how much money they collected?
No, I don't know how much money. I know their names. Ngu Santos collected money. Sako Ikome collected money. Chris Anu collected money. Ebenezer Akangwa collected money. I am still digging to know the other people who were given crumbs. I know that, and I'm challenging them. If they think I am lying, let them sue me. We live in the United States of America where there's the rule of law. I will face them in court. These people are corrupt.
There are four persons, there are four names you have called.
Yes.
Santos, Ngu Santos.
Yes. Yes.
Who called
Ebenezer Akangwa.
Ebenezer, yes. Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga.
Yes.
Samuel Sako Ikome.
Yes.
And Chris Anu. These are the four names you have called.
Yeah. And the lady who carried the bags of money and came here for the distribution, as part of the distribution, is called Florence Ufi Chinje Malu. When I am calling somebody's name, I have done a principled investigation and I have cross-checked to make sure. I have not called other names. I'm not going to call anybody's name lightly because I know the weight of what I'm doing. And if they want to kill me, be my guest. I'm not scared. Younger people have died for this movement. We have no right to be pretending that we are leaders when we are actually traitors.
Uncle Larry, can you swear to what you're saying publicly?
I can. I'm a God-fearing man. My mother, who didn't go to school, said, "Tell the truth and shame the devil." That is what I'm doing here. I am not. I don't care about lying about people. Why am I not calling the other? Are these the only leaders? Why am I calling only these four people? Did they do anything to me? I am telling you because my informant gave me this information, and he's going to give me more information. This is the information I got. The money was so much, the embassy had to pass it as if there were salaries for the ambassador, for the staff. That's how they collected the money here and they were distributing. When they give you money, they call other people and tell them that that your person that you are pretending that is a very clean person. We've already bought him. He works for us now, because they want to recruit other people. And when they are done with you, they say it in French. They flush you, as they say in French, comme du papier hygiénique après usage. They use you as a toilet paper. They've already used you. We sit here and we take money on the blood of young Southern Cameroonians who have died. God forbid it. Those who take that money.
Uncle Larry, what message do you have for people who continues to support Ebenezer Akwanga as an Ambazonian leader? What message do you have for people who continue to support Sako and front him as an Ambazonian leader? What message do you have for people who continue to look up to Chris Anu as an Ambazonian leader? What message do you have for those people?
The quintessential quality of a leader is character. The best institutions in the world are a reflection of the character and the caliber of those who run them. You go take a Komisako, a fraud in Limbe, who everybody knows to be a fraud because he's a Southwesterner and you want to placate the Bakweris. We've had Bakweri leaders here of probity. These people are not. When you have people who believe that the movement belongs to them, like Ebenezer Akangwa, leadership is a relay race. You run your own lap and you hand over. I am not a leader. I'm a servant. I want to serve the Southern Cameroonian people, and I will never betray them. And every time I see anybody who is betraying them, I will lay my life, because other people have laid their life for this struggle. They did not die in vain. So it is important. If you want to follow your leader to the grave, like how a fly will follow the corpse to the grave, that's your problem.
Dr. Choluka Sayaba, was he arrested by Norway because he refused to collect Cameroon bribe?
Yes. They wanted him to take money and be quiet. That is what they did with Frundi. Frundi, take money and be quiet or we'll kill you. I was his press secretary. I was the youngest member of the national executive of the SDF in 1990. So I'm talking as somebody who has been there.
Should Ambazonia depend on Norway for justice?
No, that would be a very big error. They will keep Cho Ayaba there for as long as they can. If they cannot poison, send, because the French are very good at this. They will send somebody inside the jail cell and poison him. They do that. They are reputed for doing that. La raison d'etat. And they say they have neutralized him because Cho Ayaba is dynamic. And these are boys we trained. He himself admits that, Larry, I was coming to the meetings, your meetings in Carrefour Obili when you were the press secretary of the SDF. Some of the things that I'm saying, I heard them from you. So we cannot sit here and allow Cho Ayaba to be locked up and then we fear. I told you, they came for Ayok Tabe, I was quiet. They came from Fongalan, I was quiet. They came for Shufai Blesberunyu, I was quiet. They came for Elias Ayambe, I was quiet. They came for Cho Ayaba, I was quiet. But when they came for me, there was no one to speak. So I'm not going to sit here and be scared of death or any justice system. Europe doesn't have justice for Africa. Chirac said, democracy is a luxury for Africa, that Africans should aspire for clean water and 3 meals a day. That democracy is a luxury. We cannot afford it. They don't want us there. They want our oil. They want to keep overseers of the white man's plantation in Africa to be controlling them. Watch whom they're going to put in power in Yaoundé. Just watch. So what is the
primary reason? What is the primary reason at this stage of Ambazonia liberation struggle for the arrest of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba? Is it to help cool down the temperature on the ground and help with the transition of Cameroon? Or is it to use Ebenezer Akwanga that they have bribed, Samuel Sako that they have bribed, Chris Anu that they have bribed, Samuel Santos that they have bribed, and the other one in Canada, you haven't mentioned his name. Why did you skip that one? The one who they helped to transition from Hong Kong to...
Let me tell you, Mr. Asu, I talk about the principled investigation that I've done. It is not conclusive. It is not exhaustive. The information that my informant gave me, I verified that information. But now let me answer your question. There are 2 words you must remember. Isolement et étouffement. Isolation and asphyxiation. You isolate the leader so you can suck the oxygen out of the movement, because the French are very, very Machiavellian. They believe that when a leader, a charismatic leader like Cho Ayaba is removed from the battlefront, everybody will fear. But guess what? The United States was in Afghanistan for 20 years. They were not able to suppress the Taliban. Famen Dongo said that they were going to end the war in a week. We have no choice. Bismarck said it. If the great problems of the day cannot be solved by parliamentary speeches and debates, they'll be solved by blood and iron. We love this land. This is our land. We have a superior culture. We are not going to submit to the francophones. Paul Biya has even admitted defeat. Nous avons tenté de les assimiler, ça n'a pas marché. So this is what they do. They caught Ayok Tabe, they caught Fongalanfo, they thought, because at one time, Yaoundé was scared of Fongalanfo. They caught him now, they put him in jail. They think that will end. Cho Ayaba picked up.
One spirit, one love. One spirit, one love.
I've just heard the Ngoketungia audio. I'm going to stand with them publicly. We must encourage these children to take bold escalatory stance. I love the tone of Giovanna Wata. They must learn one lesson that they've never learned. And I have told the soldiers on the ground, and I tell you people, the day people hear that they've taken me anywhere, don't forget about me where I am. Escalate. Yes, escalate. Nobody should be sitting and thinking where Dr. Cho Ayaba have arrested him or killed him, whatever. These people must leave the land. And I've told the soldiers this morning on the ground, you get up one day, you hear that your papa is not there. Just keep shooting and keep going.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of My Take with me, Mabi. Today's program we will talk about health. So when I talk about health, I mean now how your body they feel. Means how your body be fine where you don't need doctor or you don't need any medicine for you for the taker. I think that's what I mean by health. So I want to talk today about things that we do for preventing we not get disease we go for doctor. So which I want to talk about now holistic medicine, the other part of medicine. So when you combine holistic medicine with the medical medicine, they call it integrative medicine. So holistic medicine are for prevent you first from get any disease. Do healthy habits that will prevent you from get any disease for go for doctor. And who be Mabi? So me, I be a nurse practitioner. That one means I get a master's degree in nursing. I specialize in acute care nurse practitioner. I dey take care of people the way they live for hospital for intensive care units. So, with the special area the way I don't work. I don't take care of people the way they live for medical ICU as they call it for here. The one day they get lungs disease, they get kidney disease, liver disease. I don't take care of those kind of people there for ICU. I don't take care of people the way they get disease way affect their GI, means this part where you chop, then go down so that you go for toilet. I don't take care of those people the way they get problem. I don't take care of people that they don't get transplant. Transplant will give you new liver if your old one don't, if your liver with them born with them don't spoil. Man way one die if he talk say I want to give my own organ for some person, make it they can live with them. You transplant those organs to another person. Liver, kidney, pancreas, heart, lungs. I don't take care of those kind of people there for ICU. That's transplant. I don't take care of people that they get open heart surgery. If they don't open your heart, they fix them. Maybe you don't get chest pain, they call MI, or heart attack, they fix your heart. I don't take care of those people there. I don't take care of those people the way that they put them for machine way, that they give the machine all the care, that they take all your blood, run them in a machine, it work for you while you recover. They call an ECMO machine. I don't take care of those kind of people. And finally, the last specialization, what they take care of them are people the way the brain. So man way you don't get stroke, maybe from hypertension or any other problem, or man way they don't open the brain, the surgeon don't open them, fix the brain inside, or man way get back pain and they do surgery for a back, or those kind of people there. Now people them way I take care of them. Now my current specialization that. Today we're not to talk about medicine. That one we come up for doctor. We will give you tablet for swallow, or it will operate you or so. I want to talk about how you feel prevent yourself from reach down that road for before hospital. Why I choose this topic? Me, I go through that situation. After I don't work for medical profession, for all the specialization they were naming for you, I finally find out say me myself too I need medicine. Well, I get to go for doctor, make it give me medicine. I will tell you my own story. But I will go first for tell you what to be the topic. Our topic today, I name them wellness. Wellness is intentional. Wellness. What do I mean by wellness? Now for practice habits, day-to-day habits, where it will prevent you from go for doctor in office or for go for hospital. Thing the way feed you, the chop them way you the chop. Your exercise wey you do am, the physical thing the way you do am, your stress level the way you do, wetin you fit do personally like that person for prevent yourself so that you no dey go for doctor. Believe me, plenty thing that we fit do for prevent we for go for doctor. And I will talk about those things we dey minimize them, then are the thing that we dey make we sick, and then we dey end up for doctor door. When they say intentional, why I use that word intentional? I use that word intentional because healthy habits, them people then think say now only for take medicine. When you sick, you get fever, go for doctor, give you tablet, you begin to take them. Most of those medicine they get side effect. When he give you one, you take medicine, fix this one, you spoil another one. Take medicine, fix the one, spoil another one. Intentional. Now wait till you go do deliberately for prevent yourself, make you not take medicine. For prevent yourself, make you be healthy. When I be talk this story, or when I don't become, I be do this holistic medicine, and I be discuss, because I love the topic and I like to discuss with other people, then for see whether I can help other people. Then I discuss them with some of our community people. Then some man for the population, for the people that I talk with them, he put his hand down, up, not down, up. He talk for me, say man get to die for something anyway. And I say, man get to die for something anyway. So I'm going to answer this what we give you. Death, an easy thing. When I mean easy, means say death not be good thing. Not be say death not something when you die, then people then glad or so. I mean, so when you don't die, your problem don't finish. It's gone. No more money problem, no more health problem, no more anything. So death is easy. Your problems are gone. The problem na disability, not be death. When you don't get hypertension, you get stroke. Your one side skin don't die. You dey for wheelchair every day. People that help you for wake up, people that help you for wash, people that, and you live for the next 10 years, that's miserable because you struggle. When you don't get that hypertension, then your kidney don't spoil, and then you go for dialysis machine Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all those things, 3 days a week. The day like you not get life again, because now you get to go spend your how many hours every day for sit down for chair. That's disability. Which here they try for talk now say, but could prevent disability, but prevent things that way will make your life difficult. And then talk about preventing death. Because if you still prevent, do all the good habits, you still die for accident. And talk about preventing disability. I think I'll be talk. So that you live a healthy and thriving life. So wellness get 4 dimensions. When I say 4 dimensions, you talk about spiritual wellness, that good feeling. When you talk spiritual, for a religious person, means say your relationship with God. For a non-religious person, say just a relationship with yourself, your well-being. Emotional wellness, where you not spend time stress, anger, all those kind of things. Physical wellness, I talk about disability. Where you not be disabled, you not go for doctor office, you not take no medicine, you be fine. Now, physical wellness, that social wellness, the one way you interact with people freely. You never see the struggle, back pain or headache, all those kind of things. Those are the dimensions of wellness. So I will go now for talk about emotional, physical wellness destroying a home. And I will talk about this story so that we start understand when I talk about you feel prevent yourself from go for doctor office. Then you start understand the things that we do, we make we end up for doctor office. Your environment, will be talk. So we talk about your environment, your physical, your social, and those kind of things. The things that we do. So I will again make this discussion for some group when some couple them be there for the way their life is so miserable way they will look into divorce, the husband and the wife. And this one is their story. The husband get chronic back pain when they take medicine, oxycodone. That medicine will put you to sleep all the time. Most pain medicine will put you to sleep all the time. So all they do is spend the time na sleep. A woman get chronic headache. We eat 2 days for doctor door, they take medicine all the time. If you see relationship between those two, waiting they happen, the man with chronic illness causes a wife a chronic headache, or the wife a chronic headache because the man with chronic backache. Emotionally, they share the disease. So the wife, the madam, na nurse, they work night shift. So they go for night, go work, come back for during the day, they sleep. A man may be a nurse, but if you don't change, he be in IT, they call it technology. So he work now for house. He get computer them. He work every day for house. So it start now say, this man, as he work for house with this computer, he start get back pain. As he start get back pain, he go for doctor. My back they hot. They do x-ray, they do all kind of tests, they give you pain medicine. He go take the pain medicine, he sleep most of the time because of the pain medicine. And because he sleep most of the time, he no get good time for take care of his own self. They get 2 picking them, no man no day will they look up picking because madam they come back from work from night duty, headache, it is sleep, massa, it is sleep. So picking that they play, throw dirty, toy all over the place. The man, each time we go for doctor, the back pain, the worse he go, they give him more pain medicine. Each time he go, they give him more pain medicine, where they make him worse. So, of course, because they do anything, now so he don't big too. He get a job where they work only for house, now so he don't fat. He don't big. Wait, as he don't big, so wait he get again sleep apnea. It is snore for night over. So madam don't drive you for bed. He say, I know I come for night duty, I know the feel sleep because you over snore. So he don't go form his own room. We now for day go shut down. We go do he go to sleep. So the sleep now for that room, he get about 3 computer them for that room. Now for day the walk and now for day the sleep. So the story, as they tell me how they do one divorce, actually tell me and my husband. So I said maybe I go see Usa on the stay, so that I will see how I feel help Una for this situation. So I go visit them. The first thing when I walk, they get a very big, nice house. As soon as he opened the door for the house, I noticed the first thing. No window not be open. Despite the fact say, them be their house a few minutes ago, all window, every place be locked. I asked him, so how's it be with locked? He said, well, now they rarely open the windows because I be so busy and madam today always sleep, so I be so I know they hardly open windows. So the number one problem that we already noticed and just as I walk through the house. These people they get low levels of what do they call it? Serotonin. Serotonin is your happy chemical. Your body they produce serotonin so that it keep you happy. They call it the mood stabilizer. How you get serotonin? Serotonin is through light. So serotonin will be produced during the day. A chemical will be produced during the day. So now how? Through light. So when you're there for your house, even if you never go outside, open your windows so that lights will stream through the windows. You can get serotonin. The best way now actually to go out for a walk. 15 to 30 minutes under the sun. I no need for explain this. We all know say during a winter, depression be very high during winter. Now one of the reasons of that. So you need for open all windows every day. Mine need to open a window, bikini open your window. May light that coming, bikini go out to work. As we get inside the house again, all this clutter of things and from picking them, they through cargo. Now one of the other problem than that, we like to buy. House be cluttered. A beautiful house, now house will not be cluttered. You don't need all those things. Anything you don't need them, why you just so buy more? So now, next thing that, keep that house where you don't get clutter. I go things them all over the place. I will explain again what I mean by this clutter. So I walk into a bedroom, I ask this outside the sleep, I walk into a bedroom. 3 computer screen them for a bedroom. He said, why you wear computer screen them for a bedroom? He said, oh, because it be easy with the back pain, so it be easy for you to just get up then sit on the computer. So you see, he get a job, which may be a nice job, maybe a bad job, but a job to kill him. You know, nothing like job to kill him, but a job to kill him. 3 computers for bedroom. He said, no. That computer they get to be now outside the bedroom. Reason, LED lights. Most of we will get TV then for our bedroom. Bad habit. Because most of the time when we go, we turn on the TV, we watch a small program. LED lights, they prevent you from get a very good deep sleep. Once you don't watch that LED light, when you go back to sleep, you start toss on the bed. So you don't get good sleep. Computers should be all downstairs. That TV, then when you wake up, TV should be downstairs. Computer, the way you wake up, play down. Then they also make you not sleep. Third thing, that chair where you should for day. You know, that chair where it is supported back. The specific chair for shidong on top. You need for, if you get that kind of job, invest in your health by, say you get the chair where it support the job where you stay for house. Support your back. You don't get those things for day. Madam, your own problem. It work night shift. It come back in sleep all day. So it miss sunlight. If you really come, it sleep part of the day, wake up, maybe go walk a little bit or so. Then it expose itself to having serotonin. So thy own problem that it get headache because the environment where they did it be very depressive. Them too, they be depressed. It get the back, it get the headache. So what will be the solution? I tell these students. So going quick to the story. Solution. When I open window, lots of lights. Every morning, wake up, open window. When I pack house, find some room where when I fit throw all that clutter for inside, so that space then day. Remove that computer and make sure so I go for that house. We find another room, they get a big house, put all that computer for day. Reason, make it roll over from the bed, try worker at least. For go for the other room. Then for just roll over, you not even brush teeth, you just go for computer, go shut down for day. Or that inactivity, you not be the helping. Number 2, emotion. So I don't talk about the environment. Number 2, emotion. So I will talk about the fact, say, they know they get serotonin. So I advise them, they must go outside. They need for take things like vitamin D, especially vitamin D3. Especially because they sleep inside house most of the time. Or they go take it naturally for outside. Vitamin D, I will recommend vitamin D. I will recommend cod liver oil. I think most of you know cod liver oil. Made them take that. And then I will recommend magnesium for the husband. Chronic fatigue, most of you take zinc. But not only they take zinc, when you know they take copper. Because zinc depletes you from copper. So if you're taking a lot of zinc, you must take copper. Omega-3, make you take weight loss. Then it overput weight for if for not to get the sleep apnea because it is snore. It need for lose weight. I will talk about this weight loss thing. You have to be healthy to lose weight, not lose weight to be healthy. Because people they misunderstand it too. The difference. Stop for chop late for nights. I notice small chop all over the place, a chocolate bar, all those things there. No. Stop for chop late in the night. Last meal 6 p.m. bedtime 10 p.m. So we talk about sleep. No work for nights. Go for bed for 10 p.m. so that you sleep. Posture. We will look for a better chair where if you maintain a posture for the chair so that it will help with the back pain. And that alone, those things alone will not solve it because it already developed the problem. You need to do some exercise. And the exercise will be suggest for you now, yoga. Invest in yourself. Go register for the class or Pilates where you feel straight your back so that they pull that back for you. Believe it or not. Then talk for madam. I want to leave the party. I forget to talk about madam. When your husband be start feel better, we know they take this pain medicine again. He be a lively man. Her headache went away. You know they complain again. My head. So the headache was a reflection of the situation we did for house. Maybe because if I have that, forget that headache. The back feel better. The wife is smile now, and they get a good environment. You see, not be medicine solve this problem. I just change in their habits to solve the problem, and they be happy now. So I began to talk this example for now, so that we understand what you are the try to talk. It sounds simple, but it will work. So we will talk about modern lifestyle killing me and you. Modern lifestyle killing me and you. So I don't talk about how me too are there for the medical field. So I don't put on so much weight. I don't be big. The next thing doctor tell me, I say, your sugar then, they don't be high. So you get type 2 diabetes and you get to start take medicine for diabetes. Before that, I don't take medicine for hypertension. No, I don't take medicine for hypertension for the past 10 years. I take medicine for hypertension. Before doctor can add, say, I get to take medicine for diabetes. The next thing, one day, I go to some tests. Doctor tell me, say, it look like there's plenty of fat for your liver. And I be very worried about that. That was the last straw. After I leave that doctor office, I come for house. I was miserable. Because now they take medicine for blood pressure, I take medicine for hypertension, and then now they talk to my liver is sick. So I start doing research. What you have to do? Now for there I start holistic medicine. We mean say, take care of yourself, disease that will go away. So now for there that my journey starts. I start follow holistic medicine, the things that they suggest that we go talk about as we go through this. Now 1 year and some months, I never take blood pressure medicine. And I know they talk like that. Sometimes people they say, I know they take medicine, but they know they check. I check my blood pressure. My blood pressure be perfect. 110, high, the top one, 120, the top one. That's it. I don't take medicine for blood pressure. I know they take medicine for sugar. My blood sugar be perfect. That medicine them all I be don't throw them. That liver where doctor be tell me I go repeat test for the liver, where they call it MRI, where they take picture for that liver. I get called for house where doctor do want to know whether I my picture that, because he not be fit believe the picture. I said, yeah, mommy. He said, what you do? I said, I just changed my lifestyle. He said, unbelievable. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Now the answer that he gave me. So I've been so impressed by the fact that I'm not taking a medicine. I just change things about my life. And all these diseases they go away. Anytime my friends they know me for work, that's how they talk about. That's how they talk about. I actually go see my gynecologist. I think 2 months ago, I instead become like the doctor for your office. All man don't surround me and they talk about what if you do so that you not get sick. Because I don't like the topic. I like for talk about all my here for understand. So me I be end of obesity, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, which all I do, I change my life and it go away. So I feel I need to share that information for all man for understand. Modern lifestyle is killing us. What did that modern lifestyle they do? They chop the wood they chop, the habit the wood they do, the thing the wood they do. It don't cause you forget diabetes, hypertension, stroke, heart disease, cancer. Some cancer they now they be related to the lifestyle we choose and for do. And if we change that lifestyle, we prevent ourselves from getting cancer. The habit that we do, excessive consumption of processed food, mobile phones, inactivity, all those things then. Things and they will we feed you for change these things then. We will not just assume say this thing then they now modern life which you would do. No. We make the choices on those things then. And when we make the choices, then when that sick comes, then we get to follow doctor, then we take that pill. We get to make the choices intentional for not enough for doctor, the office or for hospital. I talk about the disease and again, I say obesity, diabetes, stroke, cancers, now the lifestyle that we don't choose. You will see that picture. You see that hamburger? Big hamburger. Now the thing that now will be chopped. Easy, that's one. Fast food be easy. All you do, you just drive your motor, stand for some window, point picture. They bring them for you, you chop them. It's killing you. It's easy, but now it kill you too. Fast food, refined food. You see, in fact, sometimes they say 4 pieces, 4 level of meat, refined meat. We did it. Now, those foods are killing us. The modern food. Next picture will show more of the chop them. Pizza. Orange juice with the wrong refiner. Coke. See all those things and for that table. Those are all refined food. They call them ultra refined food. Fast but deadly. What else? The kiwi? Death by comfort. I just talked about that man inside bedroom when I been talking story. Comfort. Roll over for bed, just go for a computer, do work, they pay you, but you know, no say that same job, now it is short in a life. Death by comfort. Most of we will not do anything, sit only on TV, play with phone, talk for friends, inactivity. Death by comfort. Another term where they call all these diseases and what they talk about, disease of civilization. A few years ago, 20 years ago, when cancer be for the European world and the Western world, cancer plenty. They send some researchers and made them go to some of the Asian countries. Africa will be one of the continents where they be send researchers and made them go find out why we will not get cancer like them. Yes, 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have as much cancer like them. They go find out why we not get cancer. You know what they find out? The reason is because we know we don't start chop them with the chop them. We be the work farm them for your backside house. We all man don't give them up now. All man don't give up farm for backside house. They sweep now backside house. Leave the don't fall, they sweep them. Instead for plant jama, instead for plant small cocoa. Now thing that way white man we find out. Say because we will be the work we have farmed them for backside house. We are jama for backside house, we are cocoa for backside house. We the chop natural foods, not refined foods. Thing when white man we find out again now say we will be the drink that we are natural drinks them. We will the chop mango, we will chop we are orange. We not the chop na that one where they don't squeeze and refine them before they give way. We are chicken that we grow for front house. We kill and we chop on natural chicken. Remember the Fulanis them with their cow, then we they walk from one town to another. They chop the grass. Now it will be the chopper. Natural meat. So that one will keep cancer away. Surprise? What will they do now? China, they send we all this chicken where they don't fluff them, sometimes don't put chemicals in so that make them they bloat up so that it big so that you will buy them. Tell Mamina say, oh, I don't go kill fowl. He want that China one. Because that China one soft. Now that one is kill. Full of chemicals. They don't breed the chicken them. They grow within 2 weeks. They don't make them grow so fast. They give them chemical. They grow so fast. You think that they give them that chemical, then you chop and the chemical will go. Only in your body. Like thing than that. Meat, cow that they grow within a few months because they don't put chemical them for inside the cow. May grow fast, grow big, and so cow fat. Also you think that chemical they go not for your skin. Fish. Now everybody the rare fish, they grow their own fish for backside house. Fish was not meant for us to grow it in the back of our house. If you want to grow fish, natural pond with the flow. The fish then eat natural things for day. Nobody the one would give them chemicals, antibiotics, all kind of things. The fish they grow big, so we take them, we burn them, we chop them. We something say they go for your skin. So when we be give up our habits for the chop that natural things when we are mommy them, they be grown for backside house. We then become like the Western world. So in the Western world, main man way it dey for home, nothing say they be excluded. When I say man for Ambazonia, may nothing say be excluded. Because now the thing that we the chopper now. So what happen? After 20-30 years of the study, they send person back for Africa to go find out what happen. We don't be like them too. Cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer. So we don't be like them too. Because for us, we like to copy everything with the Western world do. Right now, if man walk in backside house, I think they look at things say foolish. With that thing for store cheap. No. That person who walk in backside house, if they do wellness is intentional. You take care of yourself. Because you need to chop those chemicals them again. You see, I just talk about simple things them way you fit do so that you know the good for doctor. Those chemicals are the chopper. So disease of civilization that I don't explain them for you. Now this disease from this fast food them with the chopper. It cause heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, obesity. All that chemical then where they put them for that chicken and for that cow, it enter we. That's how they go to the blood. Into the blood, we get big. We get obesity, we develop hypertension, sleep apnea, all those diseases. Cancer. So, causes of metabolic disease. So now we get to the meat of the story. Now, what are the causes disease? I don't hit on them as I talk. 4 main things and they way. If you intentionally change how you do those 4 main things, that's mean if you really do them wrong. If you really do them right, keep doing it. But if you really do them wrong, change them. 1, diet. You chop where you chop. 2, stress. Any mind there for this Western world know how much stress. Stress it causes so many diseases. Stress it take a toll on your body, and stress now it cause almost most of the diseases then. I will relate stress on how they cause disease, and you will surprise. Sleep. Sleep now one thing where people that they always ignore them. People then think say sleep not just a luxury. Oh na son, if you sleep. You get time for sleep, fine. If you don't get time for sleep, fine. No. Sleep not get to be ignored again. Sleep, enough sleep to prevent a lot of diseases. Then, hypertension, heart disease, cancer. Sleep to prevent them. You will surprise. Exercise. Exercise not necessarily means they go for gym, jump. No. If you not feel afford to go for gym, your simple day-to-day walking is exercise. Walking in your house is exercise. You get people that they'll sit down for chair from morning to evening, and yet the house need cleaning. If you put them for your head, say just to clean that house, now some form of exercise, I think it will help you. First, it will keep your house clean. Second, you don't exercise a little bit for that day. Important for keep moving. Get to keep your blood circulating. So, 4 things for prevent you for the go for doctor office or for hospital. Diet, the food you eat, stress, sleep, exercise. I'll talk more about that. We get some other things and we do and win our choices. That one, you either give up the habit or you kill yourself. Smoking. That one a habit will kill you with lung cancer. Alcohol. Alcohol gets how to fit up. Alcohol not be something where they say you must give up alcohol. After a socialization meeting. Alcohol in moderation. Me say if you be that person way, you don't dey drink you all the time. Create a habit where you make a certain day, that day way, oh, today I fit drink my wine. Maybe since you dey go for meeting every once in a month on a Saturday, why not make Saturday your day where you fit drink 1 glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine? That's it. Make Saturday your day to drink. Not to drunk, in moderation. You no need for the drink every day, every day, every day. That's not moderation. So alcohol not be bad thing, but now how you limit your alcohol, because alcohol now it destroy your liver. Too much alcohol, liver get to do with alcohol, and when it don't overwhelm it, it go die. Your liver will die. Drugs, man, when you do drugs them, I be tell you how oxycodone they make that man dey sleep sotey, it nearly destroy life. Then what more of cocaine, marijuana, and all of that? That too will kill you faster. Those ones are choices, but the ones them way you fit prevent yourself from go for doctor. We will talk about that. You see pictures of the next picture of processed food. You see all that hamburger, pizza. When I say processed food, we're talking about diet. How diet they kill me. Most of we don't be so lazy for cook. You say, oh, the life be too fast, so you know they fit cook again for your house. So you buy Cheerios, put them for in front, picking their face. I think that way they chop. What be the other ones then again? All those things the way they put that inside milk for morning time, fast, for give picking them and chop. And for there you start. Those are processed food. All the sugar will be inside that processed food. The next thing, we take them, go with them for McDonald's, hamburgers, all of those things. Those are processed food. Processed foods, they be quick, they be fast, but you need for the eat natural food. Means say food where you do cook and for house. If I want to take another step further, I will tell you organic food. Organic food is the preferred food for you for the eat. Means when I talk about people them for home, the one where you walk out for your backside house better pass that one the way you go buy them for store them way they come out, they import them from outside. And if you talk for people that for diaspora, are the same thing. If you not feel afford organic food, that is fine. They cook your own food. You do well and you do better if you cook your own food than refined food. One of the problems with processed food, the sugar amount for inside the food. So we'll talk about how sugar, now one of the deadly things and way that they kill we now. Sugar, sugar, sugar. With the cause of most of our diseases then now we will develop them. Stress. You see that picture? For Ambazonia now the stress of which they happen, the revolution and everything they happen. For diaspora, money stress, workplace stress, road traffic stress, health problems stress. Be highly stressed. Now the reason that the Western world, especially America, has the highest amount of patients who are obese. Obesity be very high for America, may be related to the foods and our stress.